This is Espy. She had lived on the street for years, in a garbage dump. She was injured all over and had a crippled leg. When I first saw him at the shelter, he was looking at me with tears in his eyes, and that's when I wanted to adopt him. I will never forget the first time I saw him. He wasn't barking, jumping, trying to attract attention like the others. He was just there, an American Staffordshire Terrier, with his head buried between his paws, looking like a child who had given up on the world. His tag explained why people rushed past him, but it was the deep, unspeakable sorrow in his eyes that made me stop and look again. Underneath that muscular body, I sensed a broken heart, trembling with fear. "He's Espy," the attendant said when I asked about him. "He's had a bit of a difficult past." I realized then that I wasn't looking for a perfect dog. I was looking for a soul that could heal with me. That day, Espy came home with me. His absolute silence in the back seat, with only his eyes desperately looking out the window, created both a pang and a huge hope in my heart. When we first entered the house, it was as I expected. He sniffed every corner, recognized every sound as a threat, and finally chose the farthest corner of the living room, the small pillow in the living room, as his refuge. He curled up there and lay there for hours and hours and hours without moving. When I approached him, his muscles tensed. I didn't know what to do. When I took him to the bathroom for a shower, he looked around sadly. It was as if the whole ordeal had happened right in front of him. When I looked at her, she looked at me silently, powerlessly, trying to understand. It was raining, and he was looking out sadly. When I handed her food, she would look in the opposite direction and never eat it. But one day, Espy lay down next to me and licked my face. She was excited. She was so cheerful that I took her outside and she started rolling in the grass. We went to some cafe and she jumped on my husband. We just watched in amazement. I almost fell on the floor with happiness. Eventually, Espy got used to us and agreed to be our friend. If you know what it's like to witness how a soul is reborn through love, show that you share the same feeling by liking this story and subscribing to our channel. Every bit of support makes a difference for more lives waiting to be saved. Every day we spent with Espy, we saw the light inside her shine a little brighter. The broken soul, who was once afraid to even lift her head, has now turned into a monument of love who looks out the window every morning with hope. I admire her moments with children the most. The way she softly sniffs the hand of a little child who comes up to us while we are walking in the park and then lays down next to him almost puts the compassion in her into words. It is as if she is trying to tell everyone, "I am not what you think I am." Her fears have been replaced by trust, and she is now collecting sunny memories instead of the darkness of her past. His presence in our home has become a source of peace. He accompanies our laughter and fills our silences with love. With her, we have grown, we have healed. We are complete. Espy is not just our pet. She has become the meaning of our lives. Now Espy was more free. When I took her out on the grass, she ran all over the place for a long time. She stuck her tongue out and felt the freedom. In the evening, she would come to my lap and lick my face. The silence of the first day was gone, replaced by joy. He posed in funny poses in the garden and drank my coffee from his coffee cup. He played with the neighbor's dog in the garden. They got along very well. They had become two close friends. They played ball, they played chase. Sometimes they were even jealous of each other. When I see them like that, I think I am glad I adopted Espy that day at the shelter. Now my mornings begin with his wet nose touching my face. Our walks take on meaning when he walks proudly beside me with his head held high. The silence that greeted me when I returned home has now been replaced by a ball of love, jumping with joy, not knowing what to do with happiness. People still change their path when they see him on the street. They see a Pitbull, but when I look at them, I smile because they don't see what I see. I see my best friend. I see my confidant. I see my family. His story started with silence in that cold corner of the shelter, but our story is a saga rewritten every day, filled with laughter, hugs, and unconditional love. I remember Espy's first days, and he was no longer the sad remembering what he had been through. We even played hide and seek together. I would hide behind the covers, and she would look for me all over the house. When he found me, he would jump on me and try to hug me. Thank you, Espy, for filling a big hole in my life. Do you have a pawed friend who has changed your life and filled that silent void? Please share its name and what it means to you in the comments, because I know that each of you has an Espy story to tell, and these stories are the most precious stories in the world. It was as if having him with us erased all his painful past in an instant. If you want to see how a dog can be transformed by love, don't forget to like the video and follow us for more similar stories.